If you're ready to harness the power of your communications data, blast off with Nylas today.
Hello, Rem. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm doing good, Blog. I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's excited for the live stream too. You may hear him in the background.
Yeah, I can hear you. That's cool. So, what are you gonna talk about today?
Today we're gonna do a fun topic, and the inspiration is from one of our past videos. I think we did one on Shiny in Python and R and visualizing emails. And I wanted to continue on that thread of visualizing emails. What I want to walk through today is just how can we create a tree map, and we're going to look at creating an interactive tree map. So we'll first talk about what is a tree map. Let's look at a few examples, and then we can take a look at some tools that we can use to create a tree map. And we're going to use our email inbox. So we're going to use Nylas to grab all our emails. And we're going to pass that through and organize it to create a tree map. So it's going to be a really fun live stream to walk through.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I have read the blog post, so this live stream is going to be pretty cool.
Nice. So let's jump in. Let's just going to first talk about what a tree map is, and then we can look up a few examples just to get an idea. And the idea behind a tree map is you're able to kind of organize data in some sort of hierarchy where there are different layers of data. So the idea is the first layer may be one categorization of information, and then each layer you go down, there's going to be additional categorizations. A simple example is if we're going, for example, grocery shopping, there are different sections in a grocery store where there's going to be produce, there's going to be like a deli section, there's going to be maybe a section for cereals, and then there's a section for drinks. And that's kind of one way that you can categorize or organize a grocery store. In the same way with data, you can categorize and organize data. And we're going to look at how we can organize emails using a tree map and display it using a tree map.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's jump in. I just want to share my screen. And then we are going to look at a few examples before we start looking at creating an actual tree map. So I just want to search a tree map. And I just want to show you an image of what a tree map looks like. And I think we were looking at this one earlier, where this is just a breakdown of just food sales. So you can see that there's a breakdown based on lunch. So these are all the lunch items, and then as well the breakfast, all the different breakfast items. So it's a way of breaking down data in a visualization. And these are all rectangles that you can visualize the data. And I first came across this when I was working on front ends, where you're able to analyze bundles. So if you can analyze a bundle, I think it's a Webpack bundle analyzer. And what this tool does is it goes through, for example, your front end, and it visualizes all the different bundles that you have.
That's cool.
And I always found this visualization very, very interesting because you can interact with it and go levels deeper into the actual data to analyze, okay, what are all the different packages? What are the sizes of those packages? And a good call out here is Lodash. I think Lodash now offers individual exports. You can export individual functions from Lodash. So what you could do is you can actually determine which parts of your packages are, or which part of your bundle is heavy, and start reducing the size of it. Okay. And one thing I noticed when I was going through this is they actually use Foam Tree. So we're going to look at using Foam Tree to create a visualization using email. So Foam Tree is actually, I'll add the link to Foam Tree. So it was created by carrotsearch.com. And they give you this tool that you can use in an open source fashion if you're sharing or showing the actual logo. So if we take a look at a few demos, a fun one that we were looking at earlier is a visualization of GitHub. So what this is doing is it's creating different, I think these are hexagons, I could be wrong, but they're different hexagons of repositories in GitHub, and they're organizing them based on the actual size of watchers. So based on the number of watchers is how large the actual package is. And this is something similar that we're going to do using email. And we're going to use Foam Tree to do this. So we're going to use the Foam Tree library to build this categorization.
Cool.
And I think the first thing to call out is how do we actually categorize emails? And that's kind of an interesting topic where I took a first pass at it. I'm interested to kind of hear what other people think in terms of what are the best ways to organize your email. Because I know individuals, you have your inbox, you label emails, and you can organize them different ways. And what I thought of doing is, and I have a blog post on this as well, so feel free to check out our blog, nylas.com/blog, where I go through one iteration of how you can actually categorize your emails. So I have a visualization here. And this is kind of the blog that covers most of what we're talking about in this live stream. And this is my first approach for organizing emails. So you can see at the top, you have your email inbox, and then we split it by external emails and then internal emails. And for the internal emails, we split it even further. For example, we may have status emails such as meeting updates, a shared document, or we may also have a broadcast email. So this is the email sent out to teams or groups of people. And then we have emails from an individual. And then on the other side, we have external emails. So we do receive external emails. We want to see emails from an individual and as well emails from a company or a tool, because like most tech companies, we do use quite a bit of tools internally. So we do get email and notifications from them as well.
Yep, that's right.
So before we jump into actually what the code looks like, I just want to show you like a overview or a brief example of how we can create this hierarchy in code and then pass that on to Foam Tree. What does that look like? So one way to set this up is we're going to create data. And in the data, we're going to pass in groups of information. So the first thing we'll pass in is going to be the label. So for our example, we're just going to use a basic example here is where we're going to pass in the different types of meals or foods that people consume. So we'll say types, what's a good word here? We can do meals. Maybe we'll just do meals for now.
Yep.
and then we can actually add a weight. And the weight is essentially the total count of every one of the rectangles within that level. So if we have, for example,
that's going to make them bigger or smaller, right? Depending on the weight.
Yeah. And this is useful for the calculation where you need to pass in the weight at every level so you can calculate the size of the rectangle. And a good example here is maybe if we have 7 days in the week, we may have 2 meals a day. So that's going to be 14 meals. And as well, we may have some drinks as well. So let's just start with a lower weight of maybe 20 different types of meals in the day. And within that, we're going to pass in groups. So groups is where you can actually start creating the hierarchy of data. So one group that we can do for a meal is we can do drinks. We can do different drinks that we have. We can pass in a weight for that drink. And that weight is going to be, let me do this. So we need to pass it in within an object, and the weight could be 5. And then as well, we can pass in further groups as well. So the hierarchy that we're creating here is what's going to be used by Foam Tree to actually create the different rectangles. And here we can, for example, add the label of water. How many times we drink water? We may add a weight of that of 3, and then we can add further groups if we want to go any further. And we don't have to specify groups all the way down. In this case, water would be our last group that we go to.
Okay.
And this is one example of creating a hierarchy where you have your meals and you split it up by drinks and water. And as well, you can continue to create more groups at the top level. For example, here we can go down and we can create another group, and this group can represent different food. And we can add a weight as well. We can add a weight of 15, and then we can specify if we want to specify the different groups of food that we want to specify here. So this is very similar to what we did with our email categorization. So just going back to the diagram, we're going to create groups starting from your email inbox to external and internal emails, and further down to the different types of emails that we receive. So let's take a look at what that code looks like. So this is also available on the blog post as well, but I just want to show you a breakdown of what that code looks like. And as well, just to highlight, we're using emails that we received using Nylas. So we've just grabbed all the emails from our inbox and we've passed it in and stored it here. And for now, what I've done is I've just created a regex. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each email. We can check the subject or the email. Any information in an email is available for us to use using the Nylas API. And I'm just breaking down based off of, okay, this is what the email would look like from Nylas. These are broadcast emails. I didn't specify the exact ones, but generally we would add in emails that we want to have as like group emails or broadcast emails. And then as well, status updates. For example, if we have a updated invitation or we have a document shared or anything like that, we would want to capture that. So this is just looking at the subject in the email. And then as well, we have a regex for all the different groups of emails or all the different companies and tools that we use, such as Asana or Google or Grammarly. Any tools that we use, we created a regex for that, so we can group all the different emails. And just below, I'm just using a lookup, so I have an object that's keeping track of all the different count of emails and as well the emails themselves. Because what we want to do in our visualization, we actually want to show the sender. So we want to show who's actually sending these emails and how many we're receiving from each group. And then what we do is we just go through and create an array of all the different emails, all the different senders, and we store two pieces of information, the sender and the subject. So we're going to use the sender with our regex to determine who sent the email. And as well, if we want to take a look at the subject of the email, if we want to take a status such as a document was shared or a meeting invite was updated, we can capture that information as well. And now what we do right down here is we're going through the email, and this is a way for us to test that email. So we can test it and then we can add it to the respective groups. So we go through the email array, we count if that applies to that group. So here we're looking for any broadcast emails sent to Nylas or anyone within Nylas, and then we update that specific count. So we're just updating our lookup for all the respective groups that we've created, and we do this for every one of the groups that we're looking to create. Mm-hmm. So we have one here for any status updates. We have one for any emails we get from individuals on Nylas, and then we've created another one for external emails or any company emails that we receive. And any ones that don't fit that category, we just put it in the final group, which is external emails we receive.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And then what we do is we create the groups, which we've seen before. Mm-hmm. So here we have the top level, and this could be the email inbox itself. And then we pass in a weight. So this is all the emails that we've analyzed. And I think at this one, we've analyzed over 200 emails. And then we start creating the groups. So the groups that we have here are emails from Nylas. So these are going to be team messages, status updates, or email messages. And then we pass in the count and as well the emails. So we have a function that creates all the group information for us right here. So this function just creates the actual information that we need to pass to the foam tree library. So here, like we've seen before, we create the different groups. So this is the group for Nylas emails, and then we have external emails. And within that, we have another hierarchy of a breakdown of those internal and external emails. Cool. So to see what this looks like, I can quickly show you any other files that we've used. Mm-hmm. For now, we've just passed everything into our index.js. So in our index.js, we bring in the foam tree library, mm-hmm. and then we create the foam tree object, which takes 4 pieces of information. So the second piece of information is all the groups that we've created. And the ID I'll come back to later. ID is actually app for just now, and I'll show you what this means. And you can also pass in more information in terms of the styling of the actual foam tree library. And the way the ID is used, the ID is what foam tree attaches itself to on the actual DOM or the browser. So if we take a look at the index.html, we have a div here, and we have an ID of app. So this is what foam tree is going to attach itself to and display the actual interactive map.
Okay.
So we're running this file in the browser, and we're just loading up the actual index.js, which brings in foam tree and all the data that we put together. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So here is the breakdown of emails. We have all the emails we received from Nylas, mm-hmm. and as well all external emails that we received. So clicking on this even further, we can see which messages are sent to teams, or any team messages that we receive, any status updates, And as well, we can take a look at any emails that individuals sent us. So it seems like we have an even breakdown of all different types of emails and messages. And we can even click further to see who sent that email to us. So here I've just put XYZ. I'm not showing the individual emails, but you can get the idea that all these emails were sent by individuals to us. And the same thing applies for external emails. Here we can see which emails are sent by a company or tool. And as well, I just have unorganized to show all the unorganized emails or emails that are from individuals from outside of Nylas.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this is a great way to start exploring.
Can you quickly back to Nylas emails?
Yep, sure.
And go in whatever.
Yep.
So I just want to point, like we mentioned, that the bigger the number is, like for example, 19 is going to be a bigger square, 3 is going to be smaller.
Yep.
So that way you can actually also visualize like how big the group is.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. So the weight is essentially helping you visualize this. There's an algorithm that's used here, and that'd be interesting to go into in a future live stream where, based on the weight, you're able to create the size of the rectangle.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because you need to actually, on the space that it had, you need to accommodate everything so it looks nice.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, and that was one way, or one of the few ways we've been exploring emails or visualizing emails.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, we're doing emails and tree maps, which is really exciting to see your email. It's a little more fun. It's a little more fun to visualize emails in terms of all the different groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really curious to see how other individuals or how do other people look at email, where I think it'd be really fun if you can go through your inbox as a visualization and you can decide, oh, this is more important to look at versus other emails.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty important. That would be a good idea to implement something like that.
Yeah.
So,
It'll be a fun project, but definitely take a look. We have a blog going through this as well, a walkthrough with all the code snippets as well. So you can take a look and as well create your own email or tree map visualization of your email inbox.
mm-hmm. And don't forget to go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nylas. Look for Coding with Nylas, where you can see all the previous live streams that we have done so far. Also, keep in mind that this is episode 44. We're pretty close to episode 50, which sadly is coming next year, because this one is the first, actually the last live stream of the year 2022. So we're going to come back on 23. So obviously, happy holidays, everybody. We hope you have a great time.
Yep. Have a great time, everyone. Take a break. Enjoy the snow. Hopefully it's gonna be a white Christmas or a snowy Christmas. Maybe just before and after the travel, so not during that time, but enjoy the time, and we'll catch you in the new year. We're excited for the upcoming live streams, and as well, we're excited to take a bit of a break before we jump back into it.
Yes, exactly. So bye, everyone. Take care, and see you on the next live stream.
Okay. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Ram. Take care.
Thanks, Mike.